partial sum of the series, we're going from 1 to infinity, summing it up of a sub n is given by, and they tell us the formula for the sum of the first n terms, and they say write a rule for what the actual nth term is going to be. Now to help us with this, let me just create a little visualization here. So if I have a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3, and I keep adding all the way to a sub n minus 1 plus a sub n, this whole thing that I just wrote out, that is s sub n. This whole thing is s sub n, which is equal to n plus 1 over n plus 10. Now if I want to figure out a sub n, which is the goal of this exercise, well, I could subtract out the sum of the first n minus 1 terms. So I could subtract out this. So that is s sub n minus 1. And what would that be equal to? Well, wherever we see an n, we'd replace with an n minus 1. So it'd be n minus 1 plus 1 over n minus 1 plus 10, which is equal to n over n plus 9. So if you subtract the red stuff from the blue stuff, all you're going to be left with is the thing that we want to solve for. You're going to be left with a sub n. So we could write down a sub n is equal to s sub n minus s sub n minus 1. S sub n minus 1. Or we could write that is equal to this stuff. So this is the n plus 1 over n plus 10 minus n over n plus 9. And this by itself, this is a rule for a sub n, but we could combine these terms, add these two fractions together. And this is actually going to be the case for n greater than 1. For n equals 1, s sub 1 is going to be, well, you can just, a sub 1 is going to be equal to s sub 1. But then for any other n, we could use this right over here. And if we want to simplify this, well, we can add these two fractions. We can add these two fractions by having a common denominator. So let's see, if we multiply the numerator and denominator here times n plus 9, we are going to get, so this is equal to n plus 1 times n plus 9 over n plus 10 times n plus 9. And from that, we are going to subtract. Let's multiply the numerator and the denominator here by n plus 10. So we have n times n plus 10 over n plus 9 times n plus 10. N plus 9 times n plus 10. And what does that give us? So let's see. If we simplify up here, we're going to have, this is n squared plus 10n plus 9. That's that. And then this right over here is n squared plus, this is n squared plus 10n. Let me do it in that red color. So this is n squared plus 10n. And remember, we're going to subtract this. And so when we are close to deserving a drum roll, a sub n is going to be equal to, our denominator right over here is n plus 9 times n plus 10. And we're going to subtract the red stuff from the blue stuff. So you subtract an n squared from an n squared, those cancel out. Subtract a 10n from a 10n, those cancel out. And you're just left with that blue 9. So there you have it. We've written a rule for a sub n for n greater than 1.